Hi everyone, David here. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming back for another video. I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing okay, just a bit hot and sweaty because it's middle of summer still. I don't know, I can't handle the Osaka summers here, so humid. I think it's over 30 degrees every day. So yeah, be careful if you're visiting Japan soon. Well, today's video I want to talk about anime, which is not a topic I often talk about on here because mainly I don't really know that much about anime. Recently I've started watching quite a lot of it. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but today I wanted to get onto the main event fairly quickly. Now, I think in January, around New Year, I did a video about Studio Ghibli, which is kind of the premier animation studio in Japan. Not been making so many movies recently, especially as the main director, let's say, Hayao Miyazaki. He's retired, or he had retired several times, but he has finally come out of retirement again to make his last, I say last, you never know what's going to happen with him. Before another retirement, he decided to make another movie, which came out a couple of weeks ago in Japan. I'm recording this in July. So I wanted to talk about that today because that's kind of fresh news in the Ghibli world. So this is the, I've got a little poster here. This is the new movie. It's called君たちはどう生きるか, or How Do You Live? This title comes from an old novel from the 1930s with obviously the same name, but apart from a brief appearance in the film, the book doesn't really have any connection to the film at all. So I think just picking up some of the themes from it, I guess, is the important thing. In the Western world, when this gets translated into English, whenever that happens, it's going to be called The Boy and the Heron, which I don't really know why they changed the name so much, but to be honest, this title and The Boy and the Heron doesn't really explain a lot about the plot, so maybe it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I do want to talk about that film today. But like I said, check out my other video about the Studio Ghibli if you're a bit confused about what I'm talking about. Definitely a lot of things you can catch up on in there. That said, this movie didn't have a trailer at all. It didn't have basically any press interviews or anything like that. Nothing to do with the strikes that are going on in America. It was a sort of creative choice not to do any promotion for it. I guess it's to kind of keep people with an open mind. What they don't have an image going into the film what to expect. So I'm not going to say too much about the story because I don't want to spoil it for people, but you did open this video about a movie review of it, so I guess that's you've taken that on your own hands. I'm not going to delve too deeply into the plot either because firstly I had to watch this in Japanese, of course, with no subtitles, and my Japanese isn't that strong. I think I could keep up with most of it, but I'm not going to explain the plot if I don't really understand it completely myself, so don't worry about that. I will give a brief overview and talk about a few bits and bobs in the movie that I enjoyed. Okay, well, should I just get straight into it? Well, the story is set in the World War II era Japan, towards the end of the war, and focuses around one young boy who, for various reasons, gets moved out, or evacuated from Tokyo into the countryside, and has kind of strained relationships with the people he meets there, and ends up in a kind of fantasy situation. Should I say any more than that? I'm not sure. If you thought from the title of the book that it might be like a biographical story, then perhaps there's bits of that as Miyazaki's own life he's drawing on. This is not a biographical movie, let's say that. The last movie I think he directed was The Wind Rises, which was a kind of semi-biographical movie about an airplane engineer, or I can say airplane inventor. That was a bit more sort of grounded in the real world, and this one's not so much. So yeah, I don't know what to say now, actually. Okay. That's enough from the plot anyway. So I wanted to mention a bit about that. Of course, this is typical Miyazaki movie, as far as you can say that. The artwork is beautiful, as we've come to expect from Ghibli. It's very dense as well. There's a lot of details going on, so I think after you've watched it a couple of times, you'll still notice some new things. I I mean, I know it's hard to trust Miyazaki whether he's actually going to retire or not. I mean, I'll be happily watch any of his films if he makes them after this. But I could get the feeling that this could be a bit of a swan song, because I don't know if I was. It's just because I've been rewatching the Ghibli movies recently, but I felt like I could see little bits of all of his movies in the movie somehow. Not really as a plot point or copying the same stories, but just some of the settings, some of the design choices, some of the characters. They really reminded me of various sort of different Miyazaki movies, which is kind of interesting really, because he's got a very diverse body of work. So yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if other people picked up on that, or if it's just something I've dreamt up. I'm not sure, but everyone looked beautiful. It's the typical Ghibli people design as well, and lots of kind of beautiful fantasies, landscapes to look at as well. So I have no notes on that one at all. It always looks beautiful in Ghibli movies. We get the Ghibli food as well. This is kind of a bit of a trend now. I think people have picked up on Ghibli movies having really delicious looking food. So we do get some of that, and I can what can I say? I mean, some of it looks delicious. Maybe the portion control is a bit crazy in some cases, and there's some very kind of not gory. I don't want to say it's not like a horror movie, but it's very visceral images of organs and things like that. I don't get too deep into that, but that was a bit of a shock as well. The music, as always, was provided by Hisashi Shijo. I know the three main members of Studio Ghibli are the two directors. There's Miyazaki and Takahata, and then Suzuki, the producer. But I always think that Hisashi Shijo, who makes most of the scores, I think probably all of the scores for the movies, he's just as part of Ghibli as anyone really. He's been kind of involved in every single film, I think. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but his score is wonderful as always. This thing I always notice about Ghibli movies, maybe this is just anime in general, is that there's quiet time. I think like a Hollywood animated movie, there'd always be some scene setting score going on, and there's always some music going on. But in Japanese movies, they tend to, or at least Miyazaki movies, they tend to sort of leave a bit of empty space, sort of just silence and maybe a few sound effects, whatever's happening in the background. I think that's really good. It kind of focuses you on different things rather than just having this like jaunty soundtrack in the background. So as always, lovely. The thing that surprised me, this might be a spoiler, so please skip ahead a minute if you don't want to know, but I think this is out there now. The theme song, like the ending theme song, was written and performed by Jonas Kenshi, which kind of shocked me actually, because he does a lot of soundtrack work. If you don't know Jonas Kenshi, he's I'd say probably the biggest singer-songwriter in Japan at the moment, sort of like in the contemporary world anyway. And he does all sorts of things. He does collaborations with other artists, he writes for them, he does theme tunes. I mean, it was just not surprising when you hear the song. It fits perfectly with the film. The song, by the way, is called Spinning Globe, I think. Really wonderful and fits perfectly. If you see the music video as well, that kind of fits into the whole environment of the film. But I mean, this is the same year he did the soundtrack for Chainsaw Man, which is particularly gory and action-packed anime series. So he can do everything really. It's kind of amazing. And I don't think Ghibli movies tend to always use famous artists for the theme songs. So that was a bit of a surprise for me, but yeah, welcome surprise. What else have I got to say about that? I think that's most of the stuff. I do really want to watch it again with at least with English subtitles, because I think I'm missing some of the finer points of it. Actually, this is only the second Ghibli movie I've seen at cinema, because they've been quite sparse with their schedule. They haven't made many movies recently, and I think the last one I saw was Omoide no Mani, or When Marnie Was There, which came out the year I came to Japan actually. So it's been over 9 years I think since I've seen one in cinema, so it's kind of exciting to see that. yeah, I don't know if I'll go and see it again. I think I might have to watch one with the subtitles next time. My level's too low, I think. So definitely check it out. Many people have checked it out already, even without the promotion. I think I read that in the first 2 weeks it was the biggest opening of any Ghibli movie. I don't know how much that's down to inflation or how that works out, but yeah, definitely people have still got hunger to see Ghibli, and they were well, it's a bit of a Ghibli year really, because the Ghibli park opened, last November. So yeah, Ghibli fever's sweeping the nation again, so definitely get swept up in it if it comes to your country soon. That's all I wanted to say about that movie, so definitely check it out. Thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Studio Ghibli does in the future. I thought, since I'm talking about anime, I wanted to use my moment, because I don't even want to make a whole video about anime because I don't really know that much about it. But since I came back from England, I had a long flight there and back, so that's about sort of 20 hours either way, with a transfer in the middle. So I watched a lot of films, including some anime films. So I don't know, that triggered something in me, and I've started watching all those animes on Netflix or wherever. So I thought I want to recommend some for you if you're interested in dipping your toe into anime world. And sometimes it can be a bit difficult to navigate because there's so many titles and some of them look a bit strange, and it seems like a bit of a commitment to go into a whole series. But actually, some of the animes are quite short series. They're only about 10 or 12 episodes long, and they're only about 20 minutes per episode, so that might be a good way to dip your toe into it. Okay, I'll start with those then. The ones I've been watching recently like that were Kotaro Lives Alone. I don't know if this came before the live action show as well, but that's also great. Kotaro Lives Alone. It's about like a young boy who suddenly moves into an apartment and his neighbours trying to work out what's going on there. But it's really touching, heartfelt and funny, so definitely check that out. What else was a short one? Thermae Romae, which is based on a Roman spa architect who gets transported into Japan occasionally. Sort of every week he goes to a different place and spots the Japanese onsen and learns some tricks of the trade from them. That's really funny as well, and that's not very long either. So I think it's just 10 episodes. I did actually get confused and choose the wrong title, but I ended up watching this anime anyway. It's called Blue Period. It's about a high school art club, I guess. I don't know if he's like a bad boy at school or something, but he gets unexpectedly interested in art, and he decides to pursue his dream to go to art college. Quite sort of sincere, nice, easy watch. I ploughed through that as well. I enjoyed that a lot. There are a couple which are they're quite short episodes, but they start with a very long feature-length episode, which kind of serves as a bit of a prologue or setup for the series. The first one is Oshinoko, which has been probably one of the most successful anime of this year in Japan. It follows the two children of an idol, and there's a bit of mystery and intrigue involved as well. I don't want to say much about the plot for that one because I think you really need to watch that one from the start. But that's, yeah, definitely check that out this year. What else did I write down? I've got my notes down here. I just finished watching Oku, which is a Netflix original anime. I don't know if that's an adaptation, but it's a historical anime based on when was it? Like Edo period. This is a couple of 100 years ago, and there was some pandemic, for too soon, pandemic that killed off a lot of the male population of Japan. So what happened in that case is kind of alternate reality, alternate history anime. That was kind of interesting. It kind of lost a bit of steam at the end, but it was, yeah, definitely worth watching. The first episode was, yeah, the feature-length one, so that was that got me into it, and that kind of saw me through to the end, I think. So definitely check that out. I realised there's a short one I haven't said, The Way of the House Husband. These have got very short episodes, and they come in little blocks of 5 or 10, I think. This is kind of an ex-Yakuza member who decides to be a house husband, and he's really putting his back into learning all these, like, it's a bit of a weird, it's a comedy anime, but it's also almost like a home cleaning advice anime, because there's lots of tips about how to clean your house nicely. There's also a live action version of that as well, which is somehow a different story altogether. That's more focused on the household tips side, but it's really interesting. It's quite a short, small investment of time, so definitely watch that if you have. I think you can probably watch it in an afternoon if you want to, fairly easily. What else do I want to talk about? Just checking them off on my list. The biggest anime of last year is Spy Family. I'd recommend that to most people. I think it is a spy family drama. I just realised I said the title, Spy Family, but it's a group of like a mother and a father and a child who are not actually biologically related, but they're put together as a kind of fake family. But they've all got their secrets from each other. It's all very sort of. I guess it's a serious topic, but it's all done in a very sort of light-hearted, comedic way. So definitely check out Spy Family. I really enjoyed that one. I'm looking forward to season 2 coming whenever that comes. Or I don't know. I always never realise if it's part 2 of season 1 or that was season 2, or I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it coming back. Jujutsu Kaisen just came back for season 2 as well. Jujutsu Kaisen was famous a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It's kind of like demon hunters, I guess, in modern day Japan. So they've got to go around exorcising all these cursed monsters, cursed spirits. That can be quite bloodthirsty, but that's also, the first season of that was quite good. I'm not quite into the second season yet. It's a bit of a different timeline, I think, so different time period. So I'm a little bit confused because I haven't watched the original series for a couple of years, and then there was a film in the middle, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, which I watched on the plane, which was good too, but again, I forgot where everything fits together, so I need to do a bit of research on that. But that's worth watching. If you like those action ones as well, then you should check out Kimitsunayaiba, which is probably the biggest anime of the last 5 or 10 years in Japan. That's huge. The film they made of one of the story arcs was the highest grossing film of all time in Japan a couple of years ago, and that really got things out of COVID. I think it's during COVID as well. I don't know how they managed that. Even overtook Spirited Away, which was tie it back into the Ghibli theme. Yeah, so that's good. I've just got through the first season of that, and I'm just getting through the next couple of story arcs, so definitely check that out if you can. And did I do them all? I think that's all of them. Oh no, I've just started watching a new one. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but it's called Zomb 100. There's a longer title for it as well. The Bucket List of the Dead or something like that. Bucket List of the Zombie. I don't know. So yeah, some guy is in a terrible job and he hates it. His company's awful. But then the zombie apocalypse happens and he's free finally. So he's quite happy about this change of events. And he decides to make a bucket list of what he wants to do before he becomes a zombie. So that's just started a few weeks ago. So yeah, I'm watching that. So please watch along with me if you want. Let me know if there's any anime you recommend in the comments. I'd like to hear your advice too. Because like I said, I don't really know much about these. I just know what I like and I've shared that with you. So yeah, okay, I think that's everything really. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed the new Ghibli movie and some of those anime I recommended. So if you did, please like this video. Dislike it if you like. I think it still counts as engagement, whatever. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. What do you think about Ghibli? Go and watch that other Ghibli movie, Ghibli video that I made as well. That would be great. And share this channel with your anime friends. And they can slag me off in the comments if they like that. And subscribe as well. If you haven't subscribed already, I would appreciate if you did that. So yeah, just managed to get over 500 subscribers. I'm very happy about that. But there's a long way to go before I get to 1,000. So let's keep going. Great, thanks a lot, and take care. See you next time. Bye.